Hey everybody! A lot of you might have seen my bowing demonstration that I did a couple of years ago, and some of you have requested a little bit more information. This is another stroke that I'm going to do for you, the spiccato stroke. It's a trouble spot for many, and I think it's a trouble spot because people view the stroke as a stroke that comes off the string, that you pick up off the string, when in fact I like to think of it as more of a stroke that you drop down onto the string, which is just the other half of the stroke. But if you focus on that half, it's really a very natural stroke, which is kind of, you know, the way the bow was designed. Pretend like if you didn't know how to play the violin, what you would do. Or a kid picking up the violin, just playing around with it. Here's an example of spiccato in its most treacherous form, which is something that we're going to try to strive for, myself included. And so forth. Alright, so the way I like to try to explain this is we first do what I was doing before. Just drop the bow from way up high in the air down on the string. There's not a lot of traveling. You're just dropping and watching it bounce. Then we can go back the other way. Down and up. So you're just training small muscles to go back and forth like this. Alright? Then we're going to go down, down, up, up. Oops. Down, up, up. Down, down, up, up. Now if I get close and you look at what my hand is doing, when I drop it and pick it up, it's really all about my pinky. My pinky is the fulcrum in this lever, if you will. So it's not so much about so much fingers, it's just a little bit of balancing with your bow hand. Now we're going to go down up. Back to my spot here. Okay? Practice each of these segments several times before you move on. Now we're going to go down, up, 4 of them. Again, I'm just doing open strings, not a lot of focus on beautiful sound, just dropping and picking it up. Oops, we're not supposed to talk about picking up. Just dropping. Okay, now we're going to do 8. 7, 8. After I get good at that, then we'll just put it to a D major scale. We can go back down. So on and so forth. My sound is not beautiful. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe lower it, shove it down in the bow a little bit closer to the frog where I can actually start to make a sound and maybe put a little bit more finesse on it. Just I moved it down a little bit. So on and so forth, alright? And if you wanted it to be softer, you might move it back up in the bow, and you then have the muscle training to experiment with how flat the hair is, how high it is up off the string, and so on and so forth. And the softer stroke that is good for strokes like and so on and so forth. So, like I said, practice each one of these segments until it feels really, really comfortable, and then go on to the next segment. And I hope these things help.